Hey, it's Bernard Nomberg with the Nomberg Law Firm. We wanted to take a few minutes here to talk about some safety tips and things to think about when using one of the rideshare programs that have become so popular in the last couple of years. Whether it's Uber, Lyft, or even a taxi cab, any of these companies where you're getting a ride, where you're hiring somebody to drive you someplace and you don't know that person. We've got a list of things. It's not exhaustive, but it's at least going to get you to think a little bit about this. If you're using one of the rideshare programs, use their app. Their app will contain all of the information of the people that are going to be picking you up, as well as your information, so it creates a trail. Never use cash. Use PayPal or some online through that app system, so it again creates some evidence, creates a trail, and cash is just not the way that you should go from a safety standpoint. If you can, don't be a person who travels alone. If you can, share the ride, whether it's people who you know who are traveling with you, or you can do the multi-person ride, but again, that's not as safe because you don't know that person as well. When your trip is finished, give feedback through the app. At least, again, it'll let other people know about how your experience went with that particular driver and that particular service, etc. Keep your information confidential. Don't share any more information than you need to about who you are and those types of things. And I should have led off with this, but even before you get into that vehicle, look for the symbol that shows whatever company that you're using on that vehicle, and ask the driver his or her name. Ask the name of the passenger that they're picking up. Don't volunteer your name, and don't say to them, "Are you so and so?" Make them tell you both of those pieces of information. That'll help confirm you're in the right place at the right time. I would also consider, while you're waiting for your ride, do so in an enclosed space, maybe inside a building, under an enclosure, not out in the open. This way you're less likely to be a target for somebody else who may be looking for an opportunity to find somebody who's vulnerable or not expecting it. I would always wear your seatbelt when you're inside of the vehicle, and if you can, if you're sitting, and I would sit in the back seat, but also when you're getting in, make sure the child's safety locks on the vehicle are not engaged. There was recently a very tragic story that was in the news about something dealing with this, and a woman lost her life in a very bad situation. But make sure those child locks are not engaged. I would also check before you even get into the vehicle or agree to that ride. When you're setting up the ride through the app, check that driver's ratings and reviews. Just like you would for a restaurant when you go to Yelp or other reviewing sources, check about that driver themselves. Know your surroundings, know where you are. And a lot of times that's not easy because you may be traveling out of city, out of state, may not be familiar. We'll do a little background before you actually engage in hiring that service. Again, guys, these are not all an exhaustive list, but it is just meant for you to think about some things about your own safety. That was just a few just to get you thinking about that and to start the conversation. If you got any questions or concerns about these things, just holler at us. 205-930-6900 at the Nomberg Law Firm in Birmingham, Alabama.